What's going on, guys? I'm Fing, and today I have a special interview with one of my good friends, BW.
What's up?
And today we're just going to sit down, have a nice relaxing talk, and just really get down to the bottom of what this guy likes to do in terms of creation, whether it's music, whether it's style, clothing. Oh, what gets BW going? So I'm going to just, right off the bat, what gets you going in the morning? When you wake up, are you just like, I'm finna make a beat today? Or I'm gonna relax today? Because I feel like, for as much as you make, what is it that like gets you up to just like start cooking?
Shit, dude, honestly, it's just kind of like how I'm feeling that day. Like, it's some days are work days, like you get straight to the music making, and then there's other days where it's like, kind of chill, like read, I don't know, some days I get, like, a lot of the music I make is based off of like what kind of mood I'm in. So it's like days like today, like it was really cloudy and rainy and shit. So like, it's usually like a mellow day when it's stuff like that. And then, shit, dude, I don't know. It's like some days are work days, some days are kind of like chill, like read the room days, and then other days are just like break days.
Yeah.
So it'd be like that.
What if it's cloudy or something? Do you think in your head like I'm gonna make something in G sharp minor, or are you just gonna sit down and just start strumming keys?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. This the latter, bro. It's usually like just sit down and start like, I don't know, just kind of improvising, like playing off of the mood of everything, I guess. I don't know, there's not really a key. I would say if I'm feeling kind of like moody, it's B flat minor, bro.
B flat minor?
Hell yeah, bro. That's the best key if you ask me.
Absolutely. When you finish a song and you're going back to rework on it or kind of like get down to what you want to make of the track, what is it for you that tells you like a track is done?
I mean, you already know this, but a track is almost like never done. When it comes, in my opinion, well, at least it seems like that. It's hard for me to like leave a track alone sometimes. That's why I have to have like people like you or like Laska or something in the studio, to be like, no, don't touch it anymore. Even for Liz, like whenever, like sometimes Liz has something like, no, don't touch it anymore. It sounds done.
I know it can be difficult as an artist to turn the page and call it done.
Yeah, especially when you especially when like what I enjoy the most is engineering. So I'm always like, oh, I gotta tweak this. Oh, I gotta tweak this. Oh, and then I just like fuck the song up. I'm like, God, just like throw it over the fucking.
You ever had a song you fucked up and had to go back and rework and you made something magical out of it? Any songs that are public that people could go check out that's happened to you with?
I'd say Set My Heart on Fire, because at first that song did not sound good. When I was thinking about dropping it, and then I listened to it one day and I was like, dude, nah, I gotta change something,
Considering that song is somewhere around the 180 BPM range, and I don't want to call it nightcore, I don't want to put any labels on it, but yeah. You have a fascination with making everything like very fast paced, and I feel like a lot of your music works that way. Are you drawn to that sound? Because you have the option to make anything considering the sound bank that you do have, but you always lean towards like poppier sounds or more like rock sounds or alternative, like you bend in and out of eras. Is there something, because I know you say it's dependent on mood, but it also seems to fluctuate a lot back and forth, and it's like it's never really like you if you're telling me what you're telling me is true, like you have hundreds of different moods, like you're constantly creating different vibes for stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that like every single day is like a different mood, or do you think like sometimes
it feels like it? Yeah, sometimes it's kind of a weird thing, like, but yeah, it's, I mean, of course, when you're talking about like the high BPMs and stuff like that, I mean, that just comes from, I think a lot of my like fascination with high BPMs is like coming from a rock background, which they're not even like necessarily high BPMs, but it's like really like busy music, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think that's where a lot of it comes from, honestly, just like with kick drums, like kick drums going like, stuff like that. I think that's where a lot of the high BPM comes into. It's really high energy, like very like busy, like stuff's going on, and like, I like high BPMs too because I can like flow on it, like I can like sing fast and like it's like an energy kind of thing. And it's like that with slow music too, but I guess with like fast paced music, it's just like, I don't know, I think that's just where I feel more comfortable most of the time.
Definitely. And you have the influence for that rock sound, and kind of give me your background on what kind of music inspires you in that sense.
Well, growing up, I mean, my brother, when I was like, how old? I was probably like 9. He started to get me into like sort of rock music a little bit, just because I would hear him playing stuff like The Devil Wears Prada, and this was like back in like 2007, and he used to live with us when I was, so It's just funny.
How much older is your brother than you?
He's 8 years older than me.
So he probably has so much more influence, and he's putting you on to a lot of stuff.
Exactly. Like I remember hearing like The Devil Wears Prada, like Modest Mouse, which is definitely more like kind of chill stuff. And then there was Dance Gavin Dance, and so I don't know. Like that's where my first like original love for music came from. Was definitely like post-hardcore rock and stuff like that. And I liked the lyrics too, you know, because especially with all the screaming going on, a lot of people are like, I can't understand it, I hate it. But like, it's what kind of like got me into like the raw emotion of music. Do you know what I mean? And it was like it was definitely like a release. Like, you know, like you could listen to songs and they could control your mood so much, or like it's like a song like sympathizes with you, like how you're feeling that day. You know what I mean?
Is there ever a time where you try and make a song that emphasizes on a mood or evokes that emotion out of someone the same way it does to you? Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
That mindset that you have where it makes you feel sympathy for something. Like, I feel like in your music, do you ever try and do that for things? Because it's very emotional in your music.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. I mean, even like with the song, I'm going to plug Cycles Part 2 real quick. We just shot a badass music video for that.
Get ready.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's definitely one of those songs, I think, that like it kind of like evokes an emotion with like the piano and everything. And then that's why I tried to put like really soft vocals on it and do like, we were talking about the wetness, you know, the reverb, like just like it gives like a, you know, it gives like a whole feel to it. And I think, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you want to evoke emotions through music because like at the end of the day, that's like the whole point of music if you think about it, you know, whether it's like really fast-paced, crazy, like energetic music, or it's like slow, like put you in your feels, or like some like love song, like baby making music. You know what I mean? But it's all like meant to like, it's meant to evoke emotions, though. You know what I mean? Like one way or another, music brings out some kind of like feeling, and that's what's beautiful about music.
Do you think hunger is an emotion? I'm just playing. Do you think that with that in mind, you could ever make a song that just didn't evoke emotion? Do you think there is a type of song
honestly,
that you could
I can't write a song without emotion behind it. Like, I just can't. Like, I suck. Okay, like, if I'm making just, like, a hype song, 9 times out of 10, I'm either not going to finish it, or I'm just not going to, like, care about it that much because it has, like, there's no, like heartfelt meaning into it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't know if I can really like write a song without any kind of emotion into it, whether the listener like receives it or not. You know, it's like, at least for me, there was emotion put there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and with that in mind, always having put emotion forth in the songs, do you think there's times in your life that you draw back to relate into your music, or are you usually just sticking to how you feel? I know it's mood driven, like you said, but personally, when I make music or anything, sometimes I relate back to old times in my life to kind of derive that emotion from, especially if I'm in a better place.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. If like with Liz, like I'd made a song and she would ask if that was about her, and I was like, no, that's not about you. That's just about like something that happened to me in my past. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I would say that there's a lot of times where I like look back on old situations and like use that mindset that I was in at that point as like writing material, you know, because sometimes, especially with like the pandemic, like being on lockdown, it's like there's not a lot of inspiration to draw from right now as an artist. You know, like everything that we see is so like horrible. You know, it's like from the protests, like everything that's going on in the world is just so fucked up right now that like there's not nothing, but I would say there's not a lot in my case to like draw like a kind of like inspiration from. So sometimes I'll like just think about old times and, you know, and like kind of translate that into new songs, even if that's not the current mindset that I'm in, you know, or like the state of mind. So
is there a time in your life that you can think about right now where you've put that into music?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Like I used to date this girl, and well, honestly, a lot of my music, I guess it comes from like, you know, dude, like I've always like I was always kind of like a lover kind of person, you know, like, so there were like relationships in my life, and that like even no matter how young I was, it was like there's things that I took from those relationships that kind of changed me as a person, like in one way or another. And I guess I'm trying to think of a good way to put this, like, you know, it's not like these relationships from when I was like 17 years old or anything, like it broke me as a person, but I guess it's like, you know, like you get let down by people and it kind of like warps like your perception of like what love is, or like what, you know,
it shapes you.
Yeah, it shapes you a little bit, you know, and I guess that's like where a lot of the inspiration, like some of my like more sad songs and stuff like that, I guess some of it derives from that. But you know, there's just like, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this. Sorry, bro. I kind of lost where I was going with it.
It's all good. You know, a lot of times in life we lose track of where we're going with a lot of things. Do you think that music's helped you get back on track in some parts of your life where you felt like you were kind of lost and it gave you some sense of guidance? And I mean, just
for sure.
Before we continue, like, how long have you been making music and when did you start?
I would say like near the end of 2015. I think I was like a senior in high school and downloaded FL Studio. And it was like just a kind of hobby at first, you know. It was like just something I was like, oh yeah, like making beats. And my beats suck so fucking bad, dude. The worst.
Did you watch like tutorials to learn?
Oh yeah, dude. I used to watch some VisiWorks beats, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And then I don't know, dude. I kind of strayed away from that. The only time I'd watch tutorials is when I was like, oh, how do people make their 808s like slide or like glide around? You know what I mean? So I like looked that up on YouTube and stuff. But yeah, dude, I definitely watched some tutorials and stuff. But yeah, it started out as just like a hobby, and then it like, I don't know. Well, I started getting better and better at making beats and everything like that. So it kind of just turned. I don't know when it turned into like a real like, yeah, I make music. You know what I mean? Like it was just kind of like one day I just kind of decided, oh, you know, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna buy a cheap little mic and I'm gonna start trying to like put vocals on tracks. You know, I'm gonna start doing that, and then like here I am today, like about to graduate with a recording technology degree. Like, yeah. So
what would you say was the first time you made a song that made you think, wow, this is something that I could keep doing, continue doing, and love doing?
I'd say when I made Material Girl, and that was in like November of 2017, I think. It was something like that. It was like about 3 years ago almost. I would say that's like the first time I like put my vocals on a song, like on a beat that I had made, and I was like, oh shit, dude, this is actually kind of good. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, listening to it now, like, you know, there's a lot of things I could have done better, but I think, like, at the time, it was definitely, like, a staple, you know, like a milestone for me, you know? And I don't think I would have ever, like, kept, like, putting vocals on stuff if I wouldn't have, like, listened to that song and been like, oh, wow, like, this is actually pretty cool, you know? And it got, like, a lot of good reception from, like, the people around me, so I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and then when you make a song like that where you feel like, wow, I've really made what is the pinnacle of where I want to continue from, what was the song that led up after that made you feel like, damn, I really stapled that?
Oh, bro. Can You Keep Up, dog? So that was such like a spur-of-the-moment song, bro. I made that beat in like 2 hours, and then my friend Heaven came over, and shout out to my boy Heaven, bro. He just got signed as a model, so you guys go fuck with Heaven above all. Yeah. But yeah, no, like he came over one day and I made that beat in like 2 hours, you know. I recorded some stuff on it, and then I like just I didn't even know him that well at the time, you know, like we had talked about making music and stuff, you know, we'd hung out, but he came over and then he put a verse down on it, and bro, that song, like, I'm not gonna say it like blew up, but it got like, for me, coming from like not like no one really listening to the music, like people listen to Material Girl, but like that song got like probably like 1,500 to 2,000 plays in the first month I dropped it, and for me that was like crazy. I was like, oh my god, you know. And then that song kind of blew up. And speaking of that, it's about to hit 10K finally, like 3 years later, which is crazy. It blows my mind, honestly, that like that's 10,000 times someone clicks, and that's not a lot for some people, you know. But like thinking about it, sometimes it's like, oh shit, dude, you know, like, that's 10,000 times somebody like clicked or like heard that song that I made in like my fucking parents' like little like man cave like shit, like, you know, and this like fucking like desk just set up. It's pretty cool. It's cool. I made that on like a $23 condenser mic from fucking Walmart.com. But yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's pretty cool. But I think that's where stuff really took off a little bit. I mean,
I think that this is what I want people to get from this. A $23 microphone and making a
right.
beat in 2 hours. You do not need the craziest setup to get your stuff going.
Facts, dude.
This is someone that has a passion for it. This is someone who likes to do it. And I'm biased. Of course I'm biased, but I'm being honest. I feel the same exact way about this. You do not need a crazy setup to make great music if you do have the drive to do it.
Facts, dude.
And with that in mind, after that, I feel like you reached a point in music where your beats could never lower from that. Like what you had made from that was what you were building on top of after, and really defining your sound. Is there some sort of direction you feel you took during that time that has caught up with where you're at now in September of 2020?
Elaborate a little more on that. I'm trying to think of...
You have started with this song that is very poppy, but it's very new and fresh, and it's different. And it doesn't sound like anybody else, really. You could say it even gives you Britney Spears vibes at that point. What I'm trying to say is that what you're creating now, do you feel like those moments have stuck with you? It's like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm not saying the music is bad, but just like, you're like, dude, this is the sound. This is the sound that stuck through.
Yeah, for sure. I would say those were, because that and the song before it, like Material Girl and Can You Keep Up, were both like really like poppy, like influenced songs. And it's funny that you said Britney Spears, because that's like totally like kind of the vibe I was going for, honestly. You know, just something that's like really, you know, her music's always very like bright and like right up in your face, you know, like these vocals are like punching you, you know, and I wanted to go for something like that. And like I would say that some of those elements definitely like stuck through to my music today. Even not so much, I've kind of like strayed away from that really super poppy sound. I still have it a little bit, but not in the same way I was doing it. I would say I built off of that though, for sure. Like my music now definitely sounds better, and like it's my music now has matured a lot, but it still has those same elements, you know, like that same kind of like bright sound to it most of the time. Not always, but most of the time, I would say I carried that over for sure.
Can you explain to people how to achieve that bright sound?
You want it from like a technical standpoint?
Don't give people the sauce. I just like, tell me what's the seasoning.
What's the seasoning, dude? I don't know, bro. You do a lot of Molly. Just kidding.
Kids, don't do drugs.
Listen to me. I'm horrible.
Don't let the drugs do you. Tell me what your fascination is with dinosaurs.
With dinosaurs, bro?
I don't.
Dude, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, when I was a kid, I don't know what my fascination was, like why it, like what drew me into dinosaurs, bro. But as a kid, guys, I could literally recite all 3 of the original Jurassic Park movies. I literally knew all the words. I would watch each one of those movies at least once a day. I spent like 9 hours a day in front of the TV just watching fucking Jurassic Park movies. Maybe not every day, but at least like 3 times a week. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, bro. I had like 300 dinosaur toys. Like I would beg my mother. We didn't even have like a ton of money when I was a kid, but I was like, hey, can I please get this little dinosaur toy? Like, please. It could be like this big, and I would be like, can I have it? My girlfriend made this. It's a little dinosaur, and she made it for me. Was it for Christmas, or was it my birthday?
I think your birthday.
Yeah, I think it was my birthday. Yeah. Shout out to you, it was badass. A little dinosaur in a resin block.
This is the kind of fossils you'll never see at the Smithsonian. All right?
But yeah, dude, I don't know why it started, but bro, I will stand by this. Jurassic Park they're like old like CGI. They did a lot of animatronics, and that shit was from like the 90s, and it looks better than most of the movies that were made today, bro. So you can't really hate on Jurassic Park. They were doing something right, bro.
They had the sound effects down.
Hell yeah, bro. Bro, for the T-Rex, they mixed like a school bus and like all kinds of shit together to make like the T-Rex noise.
Aside from music, do you have any passions?
I like basketball. I haven't got to play much because a lot of the parks around here have been like barred up ever since the pandemic. Like they don't want people playing on the goals around the house or around like the neighborhood. So, yeah, I mean, I play video games, bro. I'm an avid gamer. You know what I'm saying?
What are your favorite video games right now?
Oh, dude, right now, I know I'm like 5 years late. I mean, I've been playing this game for a while, but I just got back into it recently. I've been playing like Rainbow Six Siege with some of my friends. Dude, Escape from Tarkov is a crazy game. It's like the most rage-inducing game I've ever played.
What type of food do you like?
Everything but seafood.
Is that the equivalent to I like everything but country? What kinds of music do you like?
Everything but country. I would say everything's pretty good except for new country music. Old country music's pretty good.
Can you?
Except for like the racist shit. The racist shit was not cool.
Yeah, no.
But no. But no, some old country music like old George Strait and like, you know, I don't know, I grew up in like a small town, so my dad's a good old country boy. Nah, he's not really that bad. I promise you. But no, I grew up listening to a lot of country and like a lot of like 70s rock, you know, like stuff like that. So I have like a really wide background in music, honestly. I like I can vibe to just about anything, honestly. Yeah, except new country. I hate new country music. It's just like pop music with like some dude with a southern accent on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucks. Like I hate it so much. I feel like it's just, I don't know. It's not the wave, dude. It's gone. The quality is like, the bar is here, and country music is like right here. It's pretty bad. I don't know. I don't fuck with it.
Do you think there's any music genres that have kept that bar somewhat high for the entirety of its existence?
I mean, if we're being real, like, I don't listen to it like normally, but like classical music, I would say, dude, because that's some like music theory stuff right there. You know, you got to know your shit to be able to really play like some good classical music. But I would say jazz. Jazz kind of kept the bar pretty high, dude. They're doing some crazy shit with jazz music too, bro. You know, they always have been. It's like minor ninths and all kinds of wild shit. You know, it's like switching keys in the middle of the, like, you know, like just like, it's crazy. Jazz is pretty wild.
What background do you have in music?
I mean, dude, I've always been singing since I was like a little kid, but I honestly can't play any instruments besides like piano. I can't even play piano like super good. I mean, I know like the basics and stuff, and like I can play like a few like simple songs, you know, and I can improv on piano like decently, but other than that, like I just grew up singing a lot. I've taken some like voice lessons throughout my life, so I'm like a little bit classically trained, but other than that, yeah, it's like, dude, when I was like a little kid, I used to like, everybody's gonna shit on me for this, but hey, man, High School Musical, when I was a little kid, bro, hey, some of those songs, I used to be going all out singing some of them songs with them. So yeah, I don't know, I always like to sing, so I guess that's where a lot of my musical background comes from. You know, I always had like a general sense of like what key a song was in. You know, if I heard one note, you know, I could always kind of like just know. It was always kind of like, you know what's coming next in music, and I know that's how music's supposed to be, kind of. But like, you know, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I always kind of understood music a little bit, and it runs in my family. My grandma was like a wild piano player, and like, yeah, there's a lot of people in my family that have played instruments, done some pretty cool shit.
What do they do?
Like I said, my grandma was like a crazy piano player. I know my uncle, I'm trying to remember who he played for. My uncle was a guitar player for somebody, and it's not coming to my head right now, dude. I used to have like a lot of family that were in like choirs and stuff like at the church and stuff like that, so I always grew up around singing and stuff like that. But I wanted to be in band when I was in school, but my dad never let me because I played sports. He's like, no, you can't do both. It's like, you can't be in band.
Were you upset about that?
I mean, not really, dude. I would have rather played sports anyways, honestly. You know, it's like, stay in shape.
Do you think you would even be making music right now if you had been in band?
Dude, that's a good question, actually. I really don't know, dude. I mean, I know, I definitely learned, like, sports definitely builds character, so that's, like, a good thing from it. You know, and I can't really give you a straight answer on that just because I don't know, you know, like, I think I've learned a lot from sports, not even just, like, athleticism-wise, but, like, oh, sorry, but that's a tequila burp. No, but sports teaches you a lot about character and stuff, and dude, I don't know. I kind of wanted to be in band, but it doesn't really bother me that I wasn't. You know, it's just kind of like whatever. I liked sports a lot. I was always playing basketball and stuff. So,
what influence has Texas had on your life?
Well, I mean, it's the only state I know. I mean, I have family in New York, but most of my life has been spent here. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I can relate that back to like the Dallas music scene, because that's like the only real music scene that I've like really seen like the ins and outs of, I guess. You know, I wouldn't even say the ins and outs, bro. The Dallas music scene has there's so much more to it than I even know exists, I guess, like that anybody really knows exists. You know, there's so many people, it's such a big city, and like there's so many different kinds of like, I guess you could say like groups or like, you know, like sections of it. You know, because there's like, Dallas has like a crazy like rock scene, and nobody knows that. You know, or like, you know, nobody like that, I guess I associate, really knows a lot about the Dallas rocks, like rock music, stuff like that. You know, there's so much to it, but I guess, I don't know, honestly, dude, I would say like a lot of my like musical impact comes from like, I'd say I have like kind of like a West Coast sound, but not in the sense of like DJ Mustard, like West Coast, you know, like that kind of stuff, you know, or like people like that, you know. I would say it's more of like sometimes kind of like beachy vibes in a way, you know. I'm trying to think of a good way to really like hit it on the head. You know, like I don't know. I guess Texas had a little bit of an influence, but not. I would say it's still mostly like West Coast.
Having spent all your life here, has it been something you've enjoyed?
I mean, yeah, dude. Texas is pretty cool. A lot of people talk shit about Texas, but Texas is actually pretty cool. I mean, I would like to move somewhere else. So it's not even like I want to get out of Texas that bad. It's really like there's so much world to see, and I haven't gotten to see as much of it as I would like to. But
is that something you want to do?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. I would love to travel. Like I said, I've been to like New York. I've seen like Niagara Falls a few times. I've been to like North Carolina. Been to LA when I came out to visit you in like 2017 and 2016. You know, so I've seen some different places, but yeah, I definitely want to see more. I want to go to Europe, dude. Going to Europe would be pretty cool.
Fascinating place.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Do you think that your music 10 years from now will have any resemblance to your music today?
Who knows, dude? I hope there's like still some kind of resemblance, but I hope it's like a lot more matured and like polished and like, you know, that stuff is just like bangs, man. You know, I don't know, like just like that studio like quality sound, which is what I'm working towards right now. Dude, music takes a long time to get good at. Don't let anybody like, you know, like you can make some good songs, but it takes a long time to really get your songs like, especially if you're trying to engineer it yourself or like engineer other people's music, dude. It's not one of those things you can just learn overnight. You know, it takes a long time of like really like working at it and just like training your ears and stuff. So that's what I'm going for. I want to grow all around as a musician and an engineer, you know, and stuff like, I don't know, you know, I just want to make the best music that I can, even if it's like all by myself, you know, like I make the beat, I record the vocals, and I mix the song, you know, like I just want to make the best music I can.
What got you into engineering after production?
Dude, I just like the idea of like, oh, I can control how this song is like perceived, or like I can create an atmosphere through mixing. Like when you close your eyes, you know, there's some songs you close your eyes and it's like you can see the song, you know, or you see colors when you hear it, or like, you know, it's like you see the room the song is in, you know, and I think that's really cool because I've always been a really visual person, like always like pictured stuff in my head a lot. So like when I would listen to music, it kind of just like takes you away and it captures your imagination a little bit. And I think that's what got me so into engineering, dude. It's just the fact that I could control how this song like feels. I can control like the dynamics of this song, and like how, you know, you get that really like punchy bass, or you get that really like mellow like floating like synths and stuff like that, you know, like you can control that when you're engineering. And I think engineering is, I'm not gonna say the most important part of music, but dude, if you have a good engineer, he can take your song that's kind of shitty and make it sound pretty good, you know, like you know what I'm saying?
Well, take it to the next level.
Yeah, you can take it to the next level where like even like people can just hear it and it just like sounds good, it just feels good, you know what I mean? That's what like the power of a good mix. And I think that is super important when it comes to music, you know, controlling the perception of the song, like how it feels, like, you know what I'm saying?
How do you control perception in a song?
Well, without me getting all nitty gritty into it, you know, I would just say like using the EQ right, you know, using the compressor right, and like getting your reverbs right, you know, like just creating that atmosphere and like creating those dynamics to really just help a song like flow and like just slap, bro.
And when you make a song, do you go into it thinking I'm gonna make this slap, or do you just let just take it where it goes?
I just take it where it goes, bro. I've been trying to make sure I don't like start trying to mix or like nitpick a song until like I'm done making a beat, you know, or like making like the instrumental for it, because I used to do this thing where I would like make 8 bars of it and then I'd be like, all right, time to mix it, you know, and it's like I literally only made like 8 bars, like a loop, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna mix it right now. But like I've been trying to like get away from that just because it distracts me from like the overall layout of the song. I don't know, I want to make sure that I can get a song laid out and everything, you know, like have it nice and like at least mostly finished before I start trying to get like a rough mix on it.
When do you know a song is worth and not worth dropping?
I don't want to say if other people tell me like this goes crazy or something, you know, like that. But honestly, dude, it's like, because as an artist, you're either gonna love the song you make or you're gonna hate it. And there's been times where I absolutely hate a song that I made, and other people are like, oh no, I really like this one. Oh no, I really like this. And then vice versa, you know, like I'll make something, I'm like, dude, do you hear, like, this is so crazy? And other people are like, yeah, it's all right. You know, like, yeah, it's not bad, bro. So like, really, I guess you kind of have to like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot more that goes into it than that. You know, you gotta build like demand for the song, I guess.
Do you feel like you have to build an artistic intuition to be able to find and call on those things? Because if I make a song, like you said, and other people are not feeling it the same way or vice versa, what do you think is the determining factor in whether or not that song will come out?
Man, I guess it's just however you want to brand yourself as an artist. You know, like if you think this song represents who you are, like, well, or like who you are, you know, branding yourself to be, then I think that's a good determining factor of whether you should drop it or not, whether you really vibe with the song or not. But, you know, sometimes I get kind of stuck between that. Because there's some songs that I'm like, dude, I just feel like that I'm really proud of this and I want to drop this, even if it's not something that a regular, like, listener or something would be super intrigued, like, by. But I don't know, man. It's kind of like finding a good balance between those two things, you know, like something that you think represents you and something that you really are proud of making, you know, like you kind of have to find a balance between like which of those things like determines the music that you release, I guess, is, if that makes sense.
How do you find your balance between creating music and living life?
Dude, I used to like try and sit there and pump as many beats out a day as I could and do stuff like that. But, you know, like after doing that for like 5 years, it kind of gets a little bit tiring. So now it's like I'd say my work ethic is still there, but I don't ever try and like just force it. You know, there's some days where if I haven't made music for like 2 or 3 days, then I'll like go in there and just grind out like a few beats, you know, because you don't want to like, I don't think you ever really lose making music, especially once you've been doing it for a while. Maybe you could after a long time, but like I don't like to let myself like, where I open FL and I forget where something is a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to get to that point. So I try and balance it. You know, I don't force myself to go and then work on stuff all day, because then it just kind of makes it feel like a job, you know? And like once you make music feel like a job, it's not as fun anymore. You know, so I would say, you know, there's some days where I'll work on music for like 4 days, or not some days, like some periods where I'll work on music for like 4 days in a row, just like grinding shit out, like, and I'll bust out like a song or like 3 or 4 songs in that that span. Or not even songs, but just like polished, like finished beats. And then there's other days where I don't work on music for like a week at a time. You know, there's some periods where I just kind of like take a break from it, you know, let those, try and find some kind of inspiration or like something, you know, like let an idea come to my head that I really think is like worth really doing, you know. But like I said, it goes through periods. So I would never say I like, you know, I can't ever let myself not do it for too long. But yeah. You know, sometimes I gotta push myself to go get in there and like, all right, let's like lay some ideas down, you know, just get the creative ideas flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's a good way for you to get the creative juices flowing?
Dude, I just go in there and I just stare at my keyboard for 25 minutes. Nah, dude, I don't know. I go in there and I mess around. I'll like play, I'll like just like improvise some chords, you know, like make some shit up real quick, and like, you know, it's like if I like it, then I'll like keep working at it, you know, or if I don't like it, then I just scratch it and start over and just play with new chord progressions or like new little melodies and stuff like that, you know, until I like find something I really like and then let that like build. Because I think music, like making a beat is such a thing of like momentum, bro. Because like once you have that good idea, you're like, oh dude, that would sound hard. And then you get into it and you're like, oh shit. And then you like keep adding stuff to it. It's like a momentum thing, you know, like if you're sitting there and you're making a beat like this the entire time and you're just not really like vibing with it or like trying to like actively like listen to it and like, oh, this would be cool here, or like this would be, then it's like, you know, there's like I said, music is like an emotion driven thing, so I feel like good music has a vibe to it. That's why when you have a good studio session with somebody, the music is going to turn out better 99% of the time, just because it's like an energy that's put into the music, like how you were feeling at that very moment is what drove you to like make this decision in your song, which is like shapes the song. You know, like every song has like a story behind it. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like you can feel that energy in songs sometimes. So,
do you ever feel like transferring that energy from the vibe you have while working on it and then going back to it the day after to work on it can ever deter you from trying to make a conclusion?
Yeah, I mean, it's that sometimes, and it's like there's some days where I'm like, if I don't finish this song today, I'm probably never gonna finish it. And it's because sometimes it's hard for me, like I said, like my music is very like feelings driven, so it's like I have this mindset and like it has all this energy that's being directed into a song, and then I like say I sleep on it and I try and come back to it. It's like hard for me to get back into that exact same mindset where all this energy was flowing through me to like get to like that point. Like when you do like a vocal take that's just like fucking crazy, or like, you know, you can feel there's like raw like power behind it where it came from like a real place. Like sometimes you can't, I'm not gonna say all the time, but sometimes it's hard to get back into that exact like frame of mind to get that same raw like emotion coming out of you to match that from like 2 days ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes like I can't just come back to a song and just finish it. That's why I have like a million unfinished projects on my computer, you know? It's like, that's why I try and just like, if I'm gonna make a song, I'm gonna finish that song that day. I will sit there and work on that song for 14 hours straight.
In the graveyard of FL Studio projects, will there ever be a day where any of those see light?
Dude, if I die unexpectedly at some point, I need you guys to like leak my music. Just leak the stuff. Just like leak the stuff in my hard drive. Because, dude, some of the stuff that's sitting in there that's unfinished, I haven't gone back and finished it because I don't want to like ruin this like amazing idea that was there. You know what I mean? By like not giving it the amount of energy that it deserves. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to like go back and touch that song sometimes because like, you know, I'm like, dude, this song was really good. That's what I'm saying. If I were to die, I need y'all to leak the ones that are like pretty crazy that just never got finished. You know what I'm saying? Like if something like that was to happen,
we'll leak them in 80 years.
Dude, that, you know, this is like there's a lot of cool music on my hard drive that isn't finished or is like close to being done, but I just haven't released. Even there's completely finished songs that I haven't ever released that are still pretty good. You know, it's just like, but they're pretty good to me, and so that's why. I don't know, you know, some stuff I just don't know if other people would receive it well, so that's why I'm like, yeah, you know, like maybe I don't need to post this. Like I still jam it in my car or something, you know, like I have it, but like other people don't have it, you know. It's like,
how would you say your music suits you?
I think my music is hard as fuck, bro. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm jamming out, dude. Like I'll be in the car like by myself and I'm just like screaming the lyrics to my songs because I think it goes crazy, you know. And I mean, dude, if I'm making something I don't like, I laugh at myself. I'm like, God, this is awful. And then I just, like, don't save it. And I just restart on something, you know, or, like, start on something else. I don't know. Like, I feel like every song that I make, it's only worth working on if I'm really, like, vibing with it. You know what I mean? If I feel like there's something there.
What advice would you give to somebody in creating music for themselves? As much as people create music for consumers and what is going to work in the market, how can you give a piece of advice to someone on why they should make music for themselves?
Dude, because if you're making, you know, and it might not apply to everybody, it just depends on like I'm not trying to even sound like a dick, but it's like the reason they're making music. You know, like for me, music was like an emotional, like, you know, it was something I could like escape from, you know, it was like some people have a journal. You know, like for me, I have my notes app and a fucking microphone. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just kind of how, it's like the reasons you make music, you know? If you want to make music for yourself, dude, as long as you're digging it, and it's something that you can, like really, like, vibe with, you know, and you're, like, driving, you know, just, like, driving in the car, listening to your own music, and even if it's not something that other people, like, would necessarily, like, just bang, you know, like, be like, oh, this is crazy, you know, and just, like, play it, you know, as long as you're making music for yourself and, like, something that you enjoy, I think that's a good thing. Even no matter how like weird or like crazy it is, like some, I guess like abnormal music. You know, like it doesn't matter what it is. Like as long as you're making it for yourself and you're enjoying it, then I think you're doing something right. In my opinion.
What do you do if you're not enjoying the music or the music that you do make?
If I'm not enjoying it, like you said, bro, I just file new. Like, do you want to save? No.
Is there a time frame or a window that is the space in which between that is gonna get deleted?
Sometimes, yeah. It's like I'll start. Dude, there's been times where I've had one synth open and I like had something on peanut roll arms. Like, nope, new. Like, I don't know, dude. It's just like kind of if it crosses my mind where I'm like, I don't even really like this, and I'm just like. Like start something new, bro. I'm not gonna keep working on it.
What is your favorite song you've ever made?
I would probably say Atari, bro. I think Atari is like the like, in my opinion, the best song I've made yet, and that's only because it's very polished. It's just kind of like a fun, like high, like energy song. It still has like some kind of like emotion in the lyrics, you know, like there's still like definitely like, it's not just like a pointless song, you know, it has like some kind of like underlying theme to it, you know, but it's still like really poppy and energetic and like fun, like, you know, like fast, and like the 808s are slapping, bro. Shout out Isav, bro. He like snapped on that beat.
What's your favorite kind of music to make?
Dude, if I could be in like a hardcore rock band, oh dude, I would love to do that. But I would say probably like the fast, like high, you know, like fast tempo, kind of like the stuff I've been making. You know, I would say that's my favorite kind of stuff to make, just because it's like the energy's good, bro. That's like when I first heard like, I'm not when I first heard Playboi Carti, but I remember whenever like Magnolia and stuff came out, and those songs like when they like blew up and stuff. I just remember listening to those songs, and I was like, dude, this stuff like I don't care who you are, you hear this beat and you just kind of want to like, you know, you're like nah, nah, nah. You know, you're just like, okay, this is hard. You know, like Playboi Carti, it's like it just like makes you want to move, you know, and that's what I like. I feel like I drew a lot of influence from that kind of stuff, and like even old SoundCloud stuff before that came out. You know, there was just like a lot of stuff that was coming like in like 2015 and 2016. You know, like all those like really like icy twat kind of beats and stuff like that. You know, that stuff really, you know, it just kind of like set it all up for you know, it's everything is like kind of gone. You know, it's like building off of each other to like where we are today. And I think, like I was saying, when I like heard that Playboi Carti stuff, like the energy that was like the energy in that music where you just wanted to like move a little bit, you know, like the fast like BPM, you know, like the groove and the hi-hats and stuff, you know, it's just kind of like that's the kind of stuff that I have fun making, just because, you know, you hear it and you just kind of want to like move with it a little bit, you know, it's like nah, I don't know, you get what I'm saying.
Is there something in that music that you're drawn to that kind of like makes its way into your own music? It's not biting, but it is inspiration.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Tons of it, like a lot of it, man. Honestly, like everything from, like I said, like this, the groove of the hi-hats is like honestly my favorite part of like fast BPMs and stuff like that. You know, it's just like they give you this like energy to them. You know, it's just like it kind of makes you want to do some like goon shit sometimes. You know, you're like, you know, it's just like I would say that is definitely something that really translated over to my music. Even though my music is not really like make you want to do some goon shit, you know, like it still like has that same kind of energy where like I want you to kind of be able to like bob your head like kind of quick, you know, and like feel like some energy when you're listening to my music. So I think that's one thing I try to translate over. Everything from like my really like stabby kind of vocals when I come in, or like just like my cadences, you know, I want to try and like build like a little bit of like a bounce to it, you know, in a way. Just bring something different to the table, I guess, on beats like that.
Is there anything that you want to close up on and finish with?
To go back to like what he was saying earlier, or like what we were talking about earlier, I would say, dude, if make music because you like making music, dude. Make music for like the experience of it and fun, because it'll take you a lot of places. You know, have a lot of cool experiences, whether you ever get big and famous or not. You know, like it still has. I've met a lot of cool people. Like I wouldn't know this guy. Really, like I would, but like probably not as close as we are, you know, or like, you know, I wouldn't know a lot of people from making music. I wouldn't have experienced a lot of things in my life if it weren't for music. So, I don't know, dude. Just make music, enjoy the ride, make good music, and you know, just have fun with it. Also, we already talked about it earlier, but we made a music video for a pretty badass song, Cycles Part 2, and we're about to drop that. This might come out after it's already dropped, who knows? But you should check it out because the music video is pretty sick, and the song's pretty sick as well. So
yeah, we're almost done with the edit, so it's going good.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Peace.
Good stuff, brother.
Yeah, that was fun.